This audio makes me think of forested areas around the world, places that house an abundance of different species. Forests cover 31% of the Earth's land surface. There are many different kinds of forests, such as tropical and temperate deciduous forests and tropical and temperate evergreen forests, to name a few. Each forest holds multiple coexisting ecosystems that contain its own trophic cascade. Trophic cascades are part of the food chain system that tells us how organisms regulate other organisms. There are two kinds of trophic cascades. Top-down means the food web is controlled by predation, while bottom-up means the food web is controlled by the availability of primary producers, meaning plants and other vegetation. Ecosystems usually have a mixture of both kinds of trophic cascades. A food web usually contains predators or secondary consumers, herbivores or primary consumers, the vegetation or primary producers, as well as the detritivores that contribute to the process of degradation. However, predators and primary producers aren't the most important organisms in the ecosystem. That would be keystone species. Keystone species are organisms that have a tremendous impact on their environment, and the removal of these species would cause a fairly large disturbance. Such disturbance could lead to secondary succession if it causes an environmental change. Secondary succession is when an environment that has been sustaining life is disturbed by things like wildfires, floods, or hurricanes. This can leave room for new organisms to grow. This causes competition between new organisms. All ecosystems contain competitors. These are animals usually competing for food or territory. There are two kinds of competition: inter- and intraspecific competition, which refer to between two species and between two members of the same species, respectively. Animal species aren't the only ones fighting for nutrients or territory. Plant life competition happens where we cannot see it, underneath our feet. These plants are competing for things like macro and micronutrients. These would be elements such as carbon, phosphorus, nitrogen, or potassium, etc. Some clips and images shown here were taken from places throughout Nova Scotia. These are areas recognized as Indigenous land, and changes should be made regarding the way they've been treated. The principles of two-eyed seeing talk about meshing the native ways of healing the earth and others with the scientific ways of doing the same things, to bring both together instead of fighting for dominance, to create a better and more amicable way of coexisting and taking care of the land we all live on. I hope to one day be part of this recovery process.